If you think your life is safe, predictable, even let me tell you about the exact moment mine shattered like a cheap wine glass on marble tile. This isn't just a story. It's a wake-up call for every person who's ever trusted too easily, looked the other way too often, or assumed loyalty was a given. My name's Matt Carter. And I used to think I had it all figured out. Until I uncovered a secret that changed everything and took the person I thought I knew best, my wife Lauren, and turned her into a stranger. Let's rewind to what should have been a perfect morning. My first day off in nearly 2 years. No meetings, no emails, just the sun peeking through the blinds of our beachside condo in Santa Cruz. I had woken up naturally for the first time in forever. The quiet was so deep it felt staged. Our teenage son, Ethan, had already bolted to school. My mother-in-law, Dorothy, had caught the 6 a.m. bus to tend her garden. And Lauren, my wife of 12 years, had already left for her law firm job in downtown San Jose. The espresso hissed in the kitchen, and I burned my fingers on the cup while laughing like a man finally tasting freedom. My only plan? Surprise Lauren with her favorite dinner. Cedar plank salmon, rosemary fingerlings, and that kale apple slaw she claimed was refreshing even though it tasted like regret. I even set the good plates, lit some candles, and queued up the indie folk playlist she loved. By 6:30, Ethan had returned, thrown his backpack across the floor, and retreated into Fortnite. Dorothy complimented the table, slipped scraps to the cat, and went to bed early. But no Lauren. At 7:15, I was checking my phone like a lovesick teenager. Calls went to voicemail. Texts sat undelivered. Her plate stayed warm in the oven. I paced. Cleaned. Re-cleaned. It wasn't until nearly 11 p.m. that the front door clicked. There she was, hair tousled, cheeks flushed, heels in hand like some teenager sneaking in past curfew. Her eyes widened when she saw me sitting on the edge of the bed, still dressed, lights on. "You're still up," she whispered, like I was the surprise here. "Phone died?" I asked, keeping my tone level. I didn't want to wake Dorothy across the hall. She mumbled something about an emergency staff meeting and how her boss, Carlson, had flipped out about numbers. The story came too quickly. Too practiced. I let it slide, for now. That weekend, I packed for a fishing trip with my dad up in Lake Mendocino. I invited Ethan. "Too much homework," he shrugged. Typical teenager. While searching for my old canvas backpack, I found something off. In Lauren's wardrobe, hidden beneath winter coats, sat a sleek lavender showbox with gold lettering, Jimmy Choo. Inside, blood-red stilettos, 5-inch heels, not the kind you wear to court. My wife lived in flats. Tucked inside the box, beneath tissue paper, I found a sticky note. Purple. Curvy handwriting, "Here's my number. Call me, I'll be waiting. Wade." Wade. I didn't know a Wade. Lauren had never mentioned a Wade. My gut twisted, but I buried the box back in the closet and forced myself to breathe. I left for the trip the next morning, needing space, needing clarity. From the rowboat later that afternoon, I FaceTimed Ethan. "Your mom had to leave for a quick business trip," he said, eyes glued to his screen. "Seattle, I think." That's when everything unraveled. Lauren's firm didn't have offices in Seattle. They barely operated outside the Bay Area. I called Tony, her coworker and someone I'd lent my truck to. "I thought she went on a trip with you," he said. "She filed for personal days." I felt the blood drain from my face. The stilettos. The note. The lies. The business trip. I drove home in silence, 5 hours of white-knuckle fury and silence broken only by angry grunge rock. I didn't call her. Didn't warn her. I just waited. Lauren walked in just before midnight. Flushed cheeks. Wavy hair. Suitcase in tow. But when the lavender showbox fell from her bag, the red heels spilling out like blood, I didn't need to ask any more questions. "Fun flight," I said, voice calm. "Or should I say fun weekend with Wade?" She froze. Like a deer caught in headlights. Her lips trembled. "Matt, I never meant to hurt you." I tossed the sticky note onto the floor between us. "How long?" She took a breath, like she was preparing to testify in court. 6 months. That stung more than the confession itself. He listens, she continued. He makes me feel alive. You're always tired or distracted or… I pay the bills, I snapped, voice low and sharp, so you can strut around in secret $500 shoes. Then she said it. The line that still echoes in my skull like a nightmare on loop. I'm not giving you a divorce. You should just get a side piece too. Healthy marriages need breathing room. That was it. I didn't shout. Didn't cry. I just grabbed a pillow, my keys, and walked out. Spent the night on Tony's couch because, of all people, he'd understand. A month later, divorce papers were signed. We sold the condo. Split the equity. Ethan chose to stay with Lauren because her new apartment was in a better school district. I didn't fight it. I paid child support. Did everything by the book. But I wasn't done. I found Wade. Found his last name. Found his wife on Instagram. We met for coffee. I showed her everything, screenshots, call logs, even the sticky note. Her expression never changed. Just a nod, a thank you, and a whispered, "You deserve better." 2 weeks later, Wade's bags were on the curb. Lauren's Instagram is now full of solo brunch pics and quotes about self-love. Wade's ex. Thriving. New haircut. Weekly posts about healing and glow-ups. Ethan visits every other weekend. We grill burgers, marathon old-school sci-fi, and I teach him how to untangle fishing lines without losing his mind.